everyone. Today I thought I would do a book haul as I've managed to haul quite a few this month. A couple that were gifted, quite a few on my Kindle that I can't actually remember if they go back, might even go back into February, but we might as well include them in here. Some that you get like in 99p deals, or because I've got Prime I get a free one a month, and some that I have purchased for Eurovisionathon. So without further ado, the first one is Evil Thing. This is one of the Disney, is it the villains one? Yeah, I think obviously the villains one. It is a retelling of Cruella de Vil, and my little girl Sophie, she has been obsessed with 101 Dalmatians practically since she was born. So I felt like I had to get this one. I think we did a joint thing because they were doing them for World Book Day, or was it just two for £7? So I got this one and she got a Peppa Pig board book one. So yeah, looking forward to that one. Next is one that I won in a Twitter competition. I think the lady involved was giving away like 4 or 5 and said like say which one you'd like if you were to win, and I'd said this one, and so I won it. It's called My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing. I don't know much about it, I just like the sound of the title. It says, every marriage has secrets, everyone has flaws, your wife isn't perfect, you know that, but then again neither are you. But now a serial killer is on the loose in your small town preying on young women. Fear is driving your well-behaved young daughter off the rails, and you find yourself in bed late at night looking at the woman who lies asleep beside you because you knew she had a dark secret. You just didn't realise it was darker than your own. So I think that's one to be read in the daytime for me. But yeah, we'll see. Any books about marriage, even fiction ones, I just find really interesting. So yeah, we will give that one a go. The next two are from the lovely Mel from A Book Fiend named Mel. It was my birthday in February and she got in touch with me and said that she tried to get me something off my Amazon wishlist, but there's something going on with Amazon in Australia, which she wasn't obliged to do, but she got in touch with me to tell me, and I said don't worry about it. And it was Mel's birthday this month, and I'd also tried to send her something and couldn't do it, and so we just left it. And then Mel got in touch with me and said, tell you what, why don't we just swap addresses instead of doing it through the wish list? So we did. So I got a belated present and Mel got one. I think it did come in time for her birthday. So she sent me Winter, one of the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. I've been working my way through these and I've just finished Cress now, and then this came just in time. So I'm so excited. It really is a chunker, but I'm going to be buddy reading this in April with, let me get this right now, Jessica from Lady Lovestead, Ellie from Earl Grey Books, and my friend Nikki off Twitter. So yeah, but I've just found out that there's Fairest, which is like a novella in between, so I think I'm going to try and listen to that right at the end of March, just before I read this one. So yeah, thank you Mel, as well as thank you for Holopox by Jessica Townsend. I have just finished reading Nevermore. I'd wanted to read it for ages. I bought it in especially and just kept not getting around to it. So this month I have, so that means next month, I didn't think about putting Wondersmith in next month. Maybe I'll try and squash that in if I can before Eurovisionathon. And then I will move on to Holopox. I love this colour. Green is my absolute favourite colour. So yeah, just another series featuring Morrigan Crow. There's no point me reading off this because it might spoil the other two, but yeah, thank you Mel, I appreciate these books so much. Right, the next one is called No One Ever Has Sex on a Tuesday by Tracy Bloom. I got a NetGalley ARC called The Wife Who Got a Life, and I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4-star, and I had a look what else the author had done, and there was this one. I thought, well, that's quite an interesting title. It says, a very funny romantic novel and a #1 bestseller. Childhood sweethearts Matthew and Katie agree that they must never see each other again after they end up in bed together following a school reunion. So all is forgotten until 8 months later, when a shock meeting at an antenatal class forces them to confront the fact that Matthew may or may not be the father of Katie's baby. Love and life are about to get messy for Katie, Matthew and their other halves. Never has a one night stand led to such chaos. That sounds so good. So yeah, glad I got that one. So we'll be reading that soon. And then the next three physical books are ones that I've ordered in for Eurovisionathon. So I recently found out that The Miniaturist is set in Amsterdam, so that will cover the Netherlands for me for Eurovisionathon. This is by Jessie Burton. I read The Confession a few months ago and loved it. So it says, on an autumn day in 1686, 18-year-old Nella Ortman arrives at a grand house in Amsterdam to begin her new life as the wife of wealthy merchant Johannes Brandt. Though curiously distant, he presents her with an extraordinary wedding gift, a cabinet-sized replica of their home. It is to be furnished by an elusive miniaturist whose tiny creations ring eerily true. As Nella uncovers the secret of a new household, she realises the escalating dangers they face. The miniaturist seems to hold her fate in her hands, but does she plan to save or destroy them? So that sounds good. And like I said, I really enjoyed The Confession, so I'm hoping the writing will be similar. Then for Greece, I have purchased My Family and Other Animals by Gerald Durrell. Somebody got this for me when I was younger, and I never got around to reading it and got rid of it, and now I'm gutted about that, so I've purchased it again. It's basically, if anybody watches the Durrells on ITV, I don't, but it's basically the story of that family living in Corfu, and yeah, just them and all these animals. And one of them says a bookworm. Gun-toting Leslie, bookworm Lawrence, and budding naturalist Jerry. So yeah, looking forward to that one for Greece. And then for Germany, I have gone for the Vintage Springtime Club. It says newly retired, oh, this is by Beatrice Meyer. Newly retired Philip returns home to Cologne and bumps into his long-lost sweetheart Ricarda. She's looking for temporary accommodation while repairs are carried out on her house. And so Philip concocts a plan to set up a flat share with friends with the intention of convincing Ricarda to move in and spend time with him. It works, and so begins an extraordinary and charming social experiment. 5 retirees move into a flat in time for spring. The group will thrive, break up and come together, and eventually love will blossom. Doesn't that sound like the exotic Marigold Hotel? Obviously not set in India, set in Germany. So yeah, dying to give that one a go. The rest are on my Kindle or Netgalley, so I'll just quickly whiz through those. I've just put a few words on each so that I can remember what they're about. So there is The Wedding Game by Megan Quinn. So I've basically got that this is about 2 people battling for the title of top DIY expert on a wedding game show. So there's that one. Then there's The Never Have I Ever Club by Mary Jane Barker. If anybody is taking part in Eurovisionathon, or if you still want to, you can still sign up. I will put the link below. This is the group book for the United Kingdom. It says Yorkshire villagers do a Carpe Diem inspired fun thing where everyone tries to have a go at bucket list activities. It mentions Eurovision in there, that's why I picked it. The next one is Asking for a Friend by Andy Osho. This is one that I managed to get in a book box for my mum for Mother's Day, and I'd already purchased it before that for 99p on Kindle. It said 3 best friends. They ask people out in real life, but only for each other. So they're getting fed up with Twitter, Tinder, and all those kind of things. So they decide to do it the old-fashioned way of asking people out, but not for themselves, for each other. The 24-Hour Cafe by Libby Page. Last year I read The Lido by Libby Page. I liked it, but I think I give it 3 stars. It was okay. This is just 24 hours in a cafe, seeing the comes and goings of the local community, which sounds good. The Newcomer by Fern Britton. You've probably heard me mentioned in past videos, I have been, well, I listened to the first 2 weeks worth of Fern Britton's Reading Books by the Fire, so I read 2 of those and finished them, but I'm behind now. She has got omnibus versions that she puts out on a Sunday, so I've been saving them up on my YouTube watch list so that when I get time I can get back on it. So any books that come up in the Kindle 99p deals or something like that that are by Fern Britton, I get them ready for when I want to catch up. I don't know if she's done this one yet, but The Newcomer by Fern Britton, I believe that's like an after, it follows on a little bit. It mentions Simon, who was the vicar in one of them. He's moving away with his partner now, so then they're getting a new vicar in, but Simon is a character from one of the previous books. But this one, it says a new female reverend comes to the village and she starts receiving anonymous poison pen letters. I don't think they're keen on her coming to the village, which give me a bit of a sense of the Vicar of Dibley, but it's set in Cornwall again. The next book is Adulting by Liz Talley. I think this was one that I got for the Prime deal. It says a destructive actress goes to a life coach who specialises in adulting bootcamp therapy. And actually, I think it ends up helping the life coach as well, because her life isn't as put together as she once thought. Then we've got All the Lonely People by Mike Gale. I love Mike Gale, and I gladly watched the Romantic Novelists Association Awards online a couple of weeks ago, and he won the outstanding contribution to romantic novels, or whatever it was. Just his writing has just got better and better. I've just loved reading some of his books. So when he put that it was 99p on Kindle, I went for it. It says widower Hubert Bird lives alone. Lies about having a perfect retirement life to his daughter, but then she says she's coming to visit and he needed to make it look like this life that he's made up for himself is real. So I thought that sounded really good, but I bet it's dead sad. Anything about lonely people, old people being sad, it's going to break my heart. You've Got Mail. I saw this mentioned on somebody's channel, noticed it was 99p on Kindle. It's by Kate G. Smith. I love that film, by the way, Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks. I don't think this is related to it, but it says this girl, no, it's not related to it. She's dumped by email for a relationship that she's not even in. So somebody tries to dump somebody by email, it comes to Kate, and then she responds to this bloke, and I think they end up crossing paths somewhere to do with her job. So that sounded good. And then A Good Catch by Fern Britton. Again, I got it because I thought, what if this is one of the books? I think this is a most recent one out. I think I paid £2 for this one. Two friends who love one man, and I think one friend keeps it quiet that she likes him, but it all comes out in the end. And then NetGalley, aside from The Wife Who Got a Life, which I've read and gave 4-star, I also put in a request for The Lock-In by Phoebe Luckhurst. It's going to be released on July the 22nd, and it's about 4 flatmates all who are in their 20s, and they get locked in the attic, and they're all hungover, and it's how they cope with that. And then the other one is You and Me on Vacation by Emily Henry. This is the same author who wrote Beach Read, which I was dead excited to read, and I was disappointed. I give it 3-star. It was still okay, but it was just okay, and I was expecting a lot from it. So this is released on July the 8th, and it's about 2 friends, 10 summer trips, and their last chance to fall in love. So I think they keep going on trips together in different guises over the years, and whether they come together at the end, I've got a feeling I know how that's going to go. So that's my haul. There's quite a lot of books there. Just thought you might like to see what I will have on my TBR cart, and going to try and get to, although I need to get through some of the older ones first. And I will see you next time. Bye.